guys, my name is Bly. I'm going to be telling you about my lesson plan today. I can't quite fit all of it in this 5-minute video, but I'm going to do my very best. This lesson plan is targeted towards first grade. This is the standard that it covers. It is about voting. I thought with the upcoming election that this would be a really fun activity for students. We're going to begin the lesson by showing a short Kids Academy voting video. It's got really good illustrations and a lot of good vocabulary use and explanation in it. I'm going to put the link for that in this so you can watch it. Now I'm going to gauge students' prior knowledge with my equity sticks. I'm going to use those so each student gets an opportunity to answer a question throughout this lesson. What is voting? Why do people vote? Have you ever voted for anything? And can you tell me anything that you know about the upcoming election?
Okay guys, since we just watched that video on voting, I'm going to read a book to you now about a little girl that I really think you can relate to. Now, I really want you to use your listening ears while I read this. There's going to be some words that you might be unfamiliar with that we're going to go over after we read the book. And if you have any questions, try to remember those or jot them down if you need to. The book is The Night Before Election.
And I know we don't have time to read this whole book on here. I'm going to include a link for that as well. It's a very good book, and it will give students a perspective of what it's going to feel like the night before Election Day in the upcoming election. Okay, now we're going to go over these new vocabulary words. I know it is a lot, but they're all very important when it comes to elections. You will be encountering these words several times this week, and you will have a vocabulary test on them at the end of the week. I'm going to use my equity sticks once again to ask some more questions. Can you think of a campaign you have seen? Can you think of someone that is considered a candidate? When they describe the rally as electric, what do you think they mean? And do you think the story relates to what it's like in a real election? Okay, now we are going to hold our own election so you get an idea of what it's like to vote. Instead of voting for a president, though, you're going to vote for your favorite cookie, Oreos or chocolate chips. After we've all voted and counted the votes, we are going to have the cookie that won the vote for snack today. I'm going to pass out this worksheet to all of you, and I want you to make your own decision about which cookie to vote for. I don't want you to vote for your neighbor, whatever they're choosing, or your best friend. I want you to make your own decision. Now I want you to draw a picture of your favorite cookie, and in full sentences with correct spelling and punctuation, the best as you can, explain to me why you like this cookie the best. Now I'm going to pass out a ballot to each student. I only want you to circle one cookie. That will be your vote. It is anonymous. You do not have to write your name on this. After you make your choice, I want you to fold it up. You're going to come to the front of the room, row by row, and sign in on the registered voter sheet. After that, you are going to place your votes in this ballot box. And after we've all voted, I am going to empty the box and tally each vote. I'm going to do this on the whiteboard, but I want you to get with your partner and do this together, and we're going to tally all the votes together. Okay, now we know it was a close race, but Oreos won by 2 votes. Now that you know which cookie has won, I want you to work with your partner and answer the questions below the tally box and discuss your answers with one another. Okay, now that the voting is all over, we know that Oreos won. Do you all understand why it is so important for people to voice their own opinions when it's time to vote? If only 3 more people would have voted for chocolate chip, we could be having chocolate chip cookies for snack instead of Oreos. I know not all of you voted for Oreos, but this is often the outcome when voting for a president or even a sheriff of your town. This is a fair way to vote because it gives each person an opportunity to voice their opinion, and the majority opinion wins. Now, before we eat our Oreos, I'm going to be using my equity sticks to ask a few more questions. What did we do in class today? Why did we do it? Why is it important for us to exercise our right to vote? And how can we use this knowledge that we have learned in the future?
Okay, now that you listen to my lesson plan, I'm going to talk about it a little bit. I think this will be a really fun activity for first graders. It's very hands-on and informative, and who doesn't like cookies? I included technology by showing the video, and I included literature by reading this book. I think that All individual learners would do well with this lesson. It includes all of the AK learning styles, and I believe ELL students would do really well because it is so hands-on and it takes them through the process, so they're going to understand what we're doing. I also said in the lesson that I had paired students together previously. These students would work together often. I would put the advanced students with the ELL students as well as students that might struggle to answer the questions a little bit. I also think it would be really fun to expand this lesson into other cultures and show their diversity of how they choose their officials. This lesson could also be spread out into several different lessons or different subjects. We could talk about the U.S. Constitution and how it's evolved over the years and gave the right to vote to different individuals who have not always had the right to vote. They could also learn about politicians and their campaigns and how they have these different strategies to earn voters, and they could create their own campaign poster. It could also be extended into math. We could create number sentences with the votes, and we could correspond them to greater than, less than, or equal to. I think it could go a lot of different ways. I would assess the students by using an informal formative assessment. I would take into account their responses on the worksheets as well as their class participation. Sorry this was long-winded. I tried to narrow it down as much as I could. I hope you enjoyed my lesson.